Hello, it's Sarah Berry from stampwithsarah.co.uk. Thanks for watching my video today. I've got a card to show you and we're using a couple of stamp sets. The first one is the You've Got This stamp set. Now this is case number 1 of 2. My case 2 of 2 has vanished. I'm not sure where it is, so I've got the picture for you on page 101 in the annual catalogue. This is one of the stamps that's in the other case. It's just that big sort of etched distressed background. But I'm not using that one today, I'm just using this main flower. And then the other one is watercolour words. Now I've used watercolour words a lot and you can see they're getting dark and dirty. So I'm just using the Just For You stamp out of that set. So to start with, I'm using a piece of rich raspberry. I'm just going to fold it in half. This is going to be a standard C6 card, so it's A5 folded in half. And then I have a layer on that which is Old Olive. I'm using my Tombow. Now this is a brand new Tombow, so it will come out quickly and fast, and lots of it. So that goes on the front there. Alright, we can just put that to one side. This is the flower from the stamp set that I mentioned, and we are going to colour that using the Stampin' Up markers, which are these, in the coordinating colours, which are Rich Raspberry and Old Olive. And then we're going to be either leaving it white or colouring it in with our blends. And again, I've got Rich Raspberry and Old Olive. So to start with, you want to take your marker and then you'll find that you have a thick line and a thin line. That just indicates that you've got the brush tip on one side and then the pen on the other side. So I'm going to colour directly onto the rubber stamp in the area that I want green. So I know I want the stem and the leaves green, using the side, not the tip of the brush, and then the brush tip for the rest of the flower in Rich Raspberry. I love colouring my stamps like this, and the ink is the same colour as it would be in an ink pad, so you know they're going to match when you use them together. Okay, now if I walked away from this, I could leave it, I could come back to it, and then I would just huff on the block and wake that ink up a little bit with the moisture in my breath. But I don't need to do that, but just to let you know that if you did think that you need to go and answer the door, answer the phone, you're not wasted, you don't have to clean it off. So there we are, there is the stamp just coloured in with the markers. Now I'm going to use the Just For You from the watercolour words, and this is the Rich Raspberry ink. I'm just going to stamp over the top. Okay, and now that's dry already. I don't have to worry about it smudging. I can just glue this directly onto my card. I like using the Tombow because it just lets me move it around. A little bit of wiggle room. Now I'm happy with that card. I do want to add some rhinestones. Now these are, this is the packet of rhinestones that I've nearly finished, but you can see they come in silver rhinestones, and I've just taken my blends, which is an alcohol based marker, and coloured the gems, and then you can make any colour that you'd like. That's provided you have the blends pen. You can make your rhinestones different colours, which is really, really fun. So I'm going to pick them off with my piercing tool. Bear in mind that if you do colour in your gems, just leave them to dry, because I find that I get ink on the paper backing, and you can quite easily pick that up with your fingers and transfer it onto the white space of your card. So just give it a few moments to dry. Now I really think this is all this card needs. This is the most simplified version that we're doing. Put that there. There we are. Now for an inside piece of decoration, I always like to put something inside. So here I've just stamped the corner, which is just catching this the petals on the flower, and that's all it needs. You could do another green layer inside, but I'm going to keep that for the project. Just glue this down. So next I'm going to bring in my Big Shot and make the same card again, but just step it up a little bit. For those of you that like using the Big Shot, and also for those of you that like using the blends. Okay, so that's one card done. So the next card is exactly the same again. Let's fold this in half. Oops. And then we have the old olive layer first. I like to prepare my layers and glue them down, so by the time I've done my final layer, everything's all dry. There we go. Okay. So another piece of Whisper White. Now this is just thin Whisper White. We have a thin and a thick version. And I'm going to colour in the flower again using the brush tip of the marker. Now what you can do is obviously not just stick to one green or one purple. You can have a variegated look with multiple colours on the one stamp. But just to keep it simple today, I'm using the one shade. There we are. And now for the Just For You, I'm going to stamp on a separate piece of white card. And as I said, I'm going to bring in my Big Shot and my circle die. This is a stitched circle. I think this is the second smallest. I think it's the middle circle. I can't see them from where I'm sat at the moment, but I will put that on the screen. So this quite nicely cuts out the Just For You. Okay, so this is the circle all cut out with the lovely detail around the edge. I've just popped some of our dimensional foam pads on the back. These are the larger ones that we sell. It's ready to be stuck down there, but before I do that, I'm going to colour in this flower using the blends. I've been selling the Memento Black ink pad for the blends, which works perfectly, but I also found out that you can use our inks with the blends too, and they don't run. Now, I've not tested that extensively yet. I've just tested it on the Rich Raspberry and the Old Olive, but I'm pretty confident that the rest of the inks will work with the blends, and I just think this adds a little something extra to our colouring. So just like the marker here, which is for colouring directly onto your stamp, we have the thick line and the thin line, so they all coordinate and they all match. This thick line is the brush tip, and the thin line is like a bullet tip. When you're using your blends, you'll want some paper behind. I'm not really going to be adding a lot of colour on this. I'm not doing any shading. I just want to add colour to the white image. That's literally all I want. It looks great with that colour border. The great thing about these blends is that you can just colour where you like. You don't have to be too precise, and unlike with pencils or these pens, wherever you colour, if I was to put a line there and then start over here, it would all blend together and not give you any horrible streaks, because I want this to look one colour. To get a bit of shade, you would go over with the dark pen. I'm using the light. You can buy these pens individually. One pen costs £4, but you'll want the light and the dark. So this is the light and this is the dark, so you want the two in a set. The good thing about having them sold individually is that if one runs out, you can just buy one pen and you don't have to bother with refilling with ink, and you don't have to buy a double of one that you've already got that hasn't run out yet. And so far I find that the tips of the pens are wonderful. It's smooth, and as you can see, I'm just using the light pen here, and I'm just going back over and over and over, and you can see I'm getting some shade. I will go in with the dark pen and show you how dark that is. So I'll just do the centre here, and I might just catch under here. Okay, and then I'll just go back in with the bullet tip of the light, and I just do circles, and I find that that just blends together. As long as you don't let your colouring dry. If I was to leave this and come back to it and start blending, it wouldn't really work, because you need that that ink to be fresh and wet, really, for the alcohol to blend the colours together. Okay, I think that's enough colouring, but you can see how you can start building up the colour and really play with it. And to be honest, you can't really colour it in too much. The best thing to do is colour a bit, leave it for a little while, and then come back and add more, because I find sometimes you're in danger of adding too much. You know, we're always tempted to do a little bit more, like I'm doing now. Okay, so that's basically a quick summary of how we use the blends. Now my circle is going to go over the top there, and again I'm going to add some of my gems. I love that you can colour in these rhinestones. I've bought several packets because, as you can see, I'm running out. Do I put it on there? Ooh, yeah. Okay. So this just needs to get stuck down onto the card. You can see that bleed through the cardstock, and actually it's not on my grid paper at all. So you can see the cardstock. This is Whisper White Stampin' Up cardstock. The cardstock is quality cardstock. It's smooth, not glossy, but smooth. And that is what you want for when you're using your alcohol markers. There we go. Now, just to add a little bit more detail, I have got some Old Olive ribbon, which is the 1/8 of an inch. I'm just going to tie a quick little bow. And fix this with a glue dot. Our glue dots come on a roll like this, and I think you get 400 dots, so they will last you a while. Now my dot is wider than the middle of my bow, so I'm just folding it in half before I stick it down. And where shall I stick it? What shall we think? Here. Just there. And then some scissors. These are our paper snips. They are very sharp, and they even come with a protective case, which shows you that they are super sharp. And there we are. That is our stepped up version of our card, and the simplified version as well. So you can see they've both got their benefits. If you just want a quick simple card, and then if you want to work your way up to some big shotting, die cutting, and also colouring with your blends. So I really hope you enjoyed my tips today, and please let me know in the comments below what you think, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed. Thank you. See you again soon. Bye.